Hey there! Have you ever felt just a little bit stuck when you're trying to ask a question in English? It's a super common challenge, but don't worry. Today, we're going to make it all simple and clear.
Yeah. Does forming a question sometimes feel like you're trying to solve a puzzle? You know all the words, but getting them in just the right order, that can be tricky. That's a totally normal part of learning. And you know what? It's a puzzle we're going to solve together today. In this short guide, we're going to go step by step through the rules and even the common mistakes. I promise, by the end, you'll feel way more confident and ready to ask pretty much anything. So let's get started. Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with your basic questioning toolkit. Then we'll learn the golden question rule. It's a game changer. After that, we'll cover a couple of tricky exceptions, look at how to avoid some common traps, and then finish up with a handy practice checklist. Ready? First up, your questioning toolkit. I want you to think of these as the essential ingredients for making any question. Without them, you just can't ask for the information you need. So here they are, the most common question words. This is your core toolkit. You've got what for things or actions, where for places, when is all about time, who is for people, why gets you the reason, and how is for the way something is done. You're going to be using these all the time. Okay, now for the most important part of our guide. Seriously, if you only remember one thing, make it this. We call it the golden rule, because this simple recipe works for forming almost all questions in English.
The formula is a really simple 4-step pattern. You start with a question word. Next, and this part is key, you need an auxiliary verb. Think of this as a helping verb, like do, is, or can. After that comes the subject, and then finally, the main verb. Let's see how this works in real life.
Let's take a look at a super simple example. Where do you live? It follows our formula perfectly. Question word, where. Auxiliary verb, do. Subject, you. And the main verb, live. See? 1, 2, 3, 4. It really is that simple.
And the best part? The formula works for the past tense, too. Check this out. When did they arrive? It's the exact same recipe. Question word, when. Our past tense helper verb, did. Subject, they. Main verb, arrive. The pattern stays the same.
It even works with modal verbs, like can or should. For instance, what can I do? Question word is what. The modal can is acting as our auxiliary verb. Subject is I. And the main verb is do. Once you start to see this pattern, everything gets so much easier. Okay, so now that you've got the golden rule down, let's look at 2 special cases. Getting a handle on these 2 exceptions is going to help you sound even more natural and fluent when you speak. Our first exception is for what we call subject questions. This is when the question word, like who or what, is the subject. Look at the left side. Who wrote this book? Here, who is the person who did the action? Notice we don't need did. But on the right, who did you call? The subject is you. So we use our normal golden rule. Our second exception is actually a great tool for sounding more polite and formal. Instead of just asking directly, we can soften it with a phrase like, can you tell me, or do you know? This is incredibly useful in professional settings or maybe when you're talking to strangers. Now, here's the tricky part to remember. With a direct question, we follow the golden rule. Where does she live? But when we make it indirect, the second part of the sentence flips back to a normal statement order. Do you know where she lives? See how the subject she comes before the verb lives? That's the key.
All right, let's look at a few common mistakes. And listen, don't worry if you make these. Pretty much every English learner does. Fixing them is actually a great way to level up your English skills fast.
Okay, trap number 1 is the missing auxiliary verb. It's so easy to say where you live, but you need that little helper word, do, to make the question grammatically correct. It's gotta be, where do you live? And here's that indirect question trap again. Just remember, after the opening phrase, the word order goes back to a normal statement. So instead of where is the library, the correct order is where the library is. Oh, this is another classic. The auxiliary verb did already carries the past tense. It's done the work for you. So the main verb that follows has to be in its simple base form. Not decided, just decide. Why did you decide? Phew, we've covered a lot. So to help you put it all together, here's a simple little checklist you can use. You can just run through it in your head before you ask a question to make sure it's correct.
Before you speak, just run through this quick mental checklist. First, ask yourself, is this a subject question? If so, you might not need an auxiliary verb. Second, did I use the correct auxiliary verb, like do, did, or is? Third, is the word order correct? And finally, is this an indirect question? If it is, remember to use statement order. This quick check will really help build your confidence.
And let's end on this really important piece of advice. Like any skill, this just gets easier and more automatic the more you do it. Every mistake you make and correct is a step forward. So you've just got to embrace the process.
So there you have it, your guide to asking questions in English. You've got the toolkit, you've got the golden rule, and you've got the practice checklist. Now it's your turn to go out and use them. So think about it. Using everything we covered today, what is the first question you will ask? Thanks for watching.